I wrote down what I think are the Commonweal eras.
Oh.
Because when you both came here, we were in the St. Main.
Yes.
And then, 2007, 2008 was the new building?
7.
And then the next era I have is the Ipsson era, and now the post-pandemic era. And just kind of like comparing some of those eras. I don't know. And then like, I also thought, you know, a lot of people move on, and you don't. You didn't. Which is great. And you don't move on.
I just kept holding on.
And I'll say it a little nicer than that.
A lot of people move on, but you two losers!
No,
You're still here. Putting up with this bullshit.
What the fuck are you two still doing here?
You grew something beautiful here.
Yeah, that's what we did.
What I meant to say.
That's what we did.
Okay.
Married Hal. That was her first mistake. There we go. She's stuck now.
Lots of mistakes going on here.
Mistakes were made,
Mistakes
I
were
believe
made.
it's
Choices
the same.
were made.
Choices and mistakes.
Well, I do want to say the very first thing that I want to say is that both of you, I have to turn the volume down on my microphone so much to record either of you.
Of course you do.
We project. We're trained.
We're trained
She's a vocal
professionals.
performance major.
We have lots and lots of vocal speaking of us.
And the other thing when I was telling Adrienne this is that I found out, I did the math, which I'm not very good at math, but it's Hal.
Wait, are we rolling? Are we recording?
Yeah.
She records everything.
I've been recording for hours. No, just kidding. No, I just started recording. Yeah, I'm recording. We're recording.
Are we acting now? That's one of my favorite lines.
Oh my gosh, you don't have to act. Just, you know.
No, that's a line from rehearsal.
Oh.
Alan or somebody was like, we don't need to act right now.
We've been on camera for a little while. I just need to say that I may have much vocal training, but Sweeney is from Philly.
Yeah.
That's where she gets her vocal energy from.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Booing for the Eagles.
What?
The Eagles.
What's an Eagles?
That's the football team, the Eagles.
Of course it is. Tell us more, Philly.
The Eagles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We throw frozen water at the Eagles. Don't you put that in that podcast. Don't you dare. People calling from all over. But it's the Eagles.
Wow. I've never heard that.
Well, you're not from Philly.
I don't know what that means.
Eagles! The Eagles! The Philadelphia Eagles!
I did not understand that
Of course
at
you
all.
didn't, because it's Philadelphian. Oh. It's Philadelphia's. The Eagles. I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Jeez.
Did you have to, did you have an accent when you grew up? Did you have, a big old
I don't
accent?
know. I think I must have, because when I go back, apparently, you say you can tell.
Do you fall back in it? Oh, when you get back? Yeah,
when I'm home, when I get back here, I think a little bit, it kind of...
Well, probably your vocal
back.
pattern.
Yeah.
I know what it is, because I do know this, because when you come back here, you're... I can't believe I'm going to say this. You're even louder.
She's back.
She's been back home.
And it's so funny, the minute the plane lands in the airport, I'm just a totally different person. I'm like, get out of the way. Everybody out of the way. Come on. Why are you moving so slow? Why are you standing in the walk lane? Go.
Okay, we have actually talked about this, though, me being from the Midwest and you being from the East, because I've pointed this out. I'm like, it's so evident. Actually, the whole company, you can kind of tell where people are from based on how they interact with each other. Yeah. I'm so Midwestern passive-aggressive. I don't want to step on anyone's toes, and so I'd rather just put myself in pain. Whereas you're just like, get out of my way, I need this.
If I'm in pain, you're in pain.
Okay, well, we have officially started the podcast, just so we know. It's been rolling. It's starting.
Okay, there we go.
So, in case no one knew this by now, this is Stella and Adrienne. They've been here for 25 years. This is the 25th year, your 25th season here. And I wanted to say that I have, I've done the math, and I am the 6th longest tenured person. It goes Hal, and then maybe you or Adrienne. I don't know. You guys can fight it out. I don't know who's been here longer.
Cumulatively, I have.
Cumulatively, Adrienne.
Chronologically, you.
Okay.
More show and more years at the specific time at the Commonweal of Adrienne.
Okay. So it goes, Hal, then you two, then Jeremy, then Lizzie, then me.
Wow.
I'm 6. I'm number 6, which is
it's a whole new
blew my
world.
world. Yeah, blew my mind. I was not expecting that. But yeah, I wonder. This is my very first like shtick for the podcast. If you could, when you first met the other person, did you have any first impressions of the other person that now would be a really great time to like air in front of the cameras? And
you were a wild child.
Were you?
But not like in a bad way.
No, was it? But was it that evident? I mean, I know I was, but my public persona usually was quite a goody two shoes, wasn't I?
Well, I don't mean like wild, like contraband wild. No, but like in the booth in the St. Main, and you know.
We better not tell too many stories about that.
I'm not gonna go. I won't go down that road. But no, I mean you were like fun.
Okay, the booth at the St. Main was very, very tiny and very, very sweaty. And when I stage managed summer shows, I needed less clothing in the booth. Okay?
Oh
This is just a matter of fact. There was not great air conditioning up there.
There was none. It was like pass out inducing. Yeah. So less clothing.
I don't know if I can remember my first impression of Adrienne because I was so young. I was not quite fresh out of college, but pretty dang close.
Yeah.
So I remembered. I do remember thinking, oh my God, she's so put together and she's so amazing and just everything about her is incredible.
That's because I'm a really good actor. I was literally like the hang in there baby kitten at the time. 2001 was a rough time.
But I will say, so the first time we met was because we were doing an Ipsson that was in collaboration with Luther College. So the rehearsals were actually at Luther.
Right. Some of them were.
Some of them were. A bunch of them were. And I will say, well, I didn't necessarily think, I didn't think negatively about it, and I still don't, but I do remember that was for sure when I realized that Adrienne had very specific things that she needed, and things had to be in a very specific order and how they were done. And I'm only reflecting on this because now that I know her, I will say that is 1,001% true.
Well, tell me what. Do you remember what it was?
I don't know. I don't know.
What show was it? Do you remember?
Enemy of the People.
Enemy of the People.
Do you remember? You don't remember Who's Peter?
Oh, I remember Who's Peter. Was that from that show?
That was from that show. Peter was the brother. Peter was the mayor. We got
like a couple weeks into rehearsal.
It was.
I was stage managing.
So Peter is the bad guy in Enemy of the People. He's the mayor.
Okay.
And I was playing the wife of the good guy. Okay. And
we'd already read through the script a number of times.
Multiple times.
And she's a professional actor.
Multiple times.
So she know these things.
And then we're just about wrapping up table work, and the director was like, okay, does anybody have any questions? And I was like, yes, I do. Who's Peter?
To which we were all like...
And everybody laughed because they thought I was joking. And then it was like this like falling silence, like snow. And every head turned to me, and they're like... You're serious? I was like, yes, I don't know. And the guy playing Peter was like, that's me.
That's me. I play that character.
I'm like, oh no, you're the mayor. And he's like, uh-huh. And my first name is Peter. I was like, okay. So thankfully, like all the Who's Peter crowd are gone now. But everybody would just be like, oh, she's starting a new process. Who's Peter?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that was...
Well, in your defense, like Chekhov and Ipsson, they use a lot of different names for a lot of different characters.
Yeah,
so,
the
mayor, or
the mayor, or the town, or
so
the councilman, or the husband.
In your defense, I get that.
Thank you very much.
There's a lot of different names for those characters.
Aaron, if you're watching this, I do know your character's name was Peter.
That's good. I'm glad you got
and
that.
I really internalized it for the second time we did Ipsson. I was like, I know who Peter is.
Ooh, look at me.
Let me bring that to the table. Well, so that's the first time you met.
Mm-hmm.
Were you in that show?
I was stage managing.
You were stage managing.
So I was a young...
You were a young stage
20-something young stage manager.
And we had to trundle the show over to Luther?
We did. We did a lot of driving, and it was in the winter, too, so the roads were kind of crazy.
That's not good.
That's how I got to know my husband very, very, very well on those many drives to Luther. There was also... How to tell this story. Here's an example of how Adrienne could be very specific, but this was absolutely necessary. There was a phenomenal person named Max on the show. I love Max. He could actually be watching this at some point. So I adore you, Max. I really do. And Max loved playing Scrabble and loved just having chats. He was really delightful. But Max was hard of hearing. And there was a point, what was supposed to happen? Something like... The doorbell went.
The doorbell rang, and I think that was his cue.
Okay.
But he couldn't hear the doorbell as much as we couldn't crank it up any louder. Like, it wouldn't have made sense in the context for the audience. Do you know what I mean? So, Adrienne, we were all, I don't remember, did you come up with this idea? How did this come about?
I don't know.
She ended up having to wink really big at Max so he could know that the doorbell went.
But I could only use my upstage eye.
It was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome.
A lot of shenanigans happened around Ipsson. I think we're jumping the order.
Oh, that's fine. We can jump on.
Oh my God. The Ipssons were do you remember when I don't think you were part of the show. It was the Wild Duck, and we took that on tour. It was always like a tour shenanigan.
Tours are crazy.
And they're, and Ipsson wrote plays for like 1 million people in them, and there's always a party scene. And so, remember the line, Mrs. Sorby is showing her teeth?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And I think we were at the Sheldon in Red Wing, and there's a bunch of kamuckus and hubbub coming from the speaker off stage, I guess, left. And that speaker didn't work. But we didn't know it until we were in the middle of the show, and the hubbub is starting to happen, and it's all coming from the other side, and we're all like, do we exit that side? And the stage manager had to run from the booth and say the cue line, which is, Mrs. Sorby is showing her teeth. But it was supposed to be recorded. It was Ryan Sherlock. And we were all like, thank you very
What a great cue line.
And it was not recorded. Then there was a time in the first show, Enemy of the People, where I'm supposed to make this like big entrance that you people are doing my husband dirty, and I'm gonna come save the day. I'm backstage, and I grab the door, and the handle comes off in my hand, and I was like, oh, I can't. And then you hear like, and the whole cast on stage is looking at the back door, expecting me to come in the back door, and I had to clamber over all of this furniture in my dress and my hoop skirt and come in the front door, and everybody was just like, everything went bananas in the Ipsson. I think it might be cursed.
Well,
the curse of Ipsson.
The curse of Ipsson. We're not doing Ipsson anymore. I wrote down eras of the Commonwealth, because you've seen a few of the eras, and Ipsson is one of the eras that I wanted to like just chat about. I mean, like it seems like a pretty crazy era to do. It seemed like a really good identity for us at a time, and it seems like some people were so dedicated to it.
Yeah.
And then it seems like some people were so relieved when it ended. Some of our patrons and some of our people here, like some of the workers here. So
it seems like once we had Jeffrey Hatcher adapting for us too, that those were just very enjoyable because it made it easier on a more contemporary audience.
Sure.
And then there was like some really great biting humor in some of those, and
I loved working on the Hatcher adaptations.
Where would you lie on Ipsson? Like on a how long of an Ipsson beard would you like to have? Are you a full Ipsonite, or were you kind of like take it or leave it?
Well, I have a special place in my heart because that's why I have a job here. It's like that was what I was hired to do. Yeah. My first show was in Ipsson, and then I was hired on by Eric Bunge to. He was like, I think we can grow this Ipsson Festival thing, but we just need somebody to do it. Sure. And I was like, okay. And so I just dove right in, and it was so fulfilling to me because people responded so much, and of course, we're flying to Norway and we're meeting, bringing people over from India, and it just was like this really amazing period of time where the Commonweal sort of exploded and on that international scene, if you will, of Ipssonites. But it was and I'll never forget, we went and we were talking to the people who run the Ipsson Festival in Oslo, and we're in a town of 750, and because she speaks Norwegian, she's like, that's like here, and we were like, Oslo, and her partner was like, no, she means 750, and the woman was like, yeah, we have about 750,000 population as well, and we were like, no, 750 full stop. Like, it is not 750,000. And then she just couldn't. It was like she couldn't compute. She was like, "You do Ipsson in a town of 750 stop?" I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of that's the oddity. That's the weirdness."
But they love it.
But they love it. They love it. Or they hate it. They love it or they hate it. But I think what was really cool is like people from this area felt like that's so much a part of their heritage, you know. And I think that it was fulfilling, you know, for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
And not for others.
And there's some really great stories, too. I mean, they are really great stories.
Yeah. The father of modern drama. The father of realism. Yeah, I just taught that in class.
And, you know, the women's roles. Nora, you know, had all the ghosts, the mother and ghosts, and just groundbreaking roles for women that we don't even see now. You know?
Did you have a favorite Ipsson that you were in? I'm going to ask you the same question, so you can both think about it for a second.
Well, I only acted in one.
What?
Yes. What? I did so many other things for Ipsons. I stage managed a lot. I did props. I did a ton of sound. But the only one I was in was when I was pregnant with Kieran.
That's right, because that was his first stage role.
That was also one of that might have been Tim's first role here.
Was it his very first one?
I know it was one of his first.
Huh. What show was it? Remind us.
John Gabriel Borkman. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bork.
I think that I don't know. That was a great show. It was beautiful. The Risa Brandon directed it. The direction and the set design, everything about it was just
giant white
stunning.
Pieces that came from the ceiling of fabric.
Oh my God, it was incredible. It was and like lanterns edged the whole end of the rim of the stage. It was just gorgeous. But you know, Hedda too, of course. I mean, that's killer role.
Iconic.
Yeah. I never got to play Nora. That's okay though. I think that's okay. I'm good with that.
Are you?
I am.
Good.
I will say, I realize this is all about me, but
it is.
It is actually,
Adrienne, yes. Just so
about John Gabriel Borkman, because it was the only one I was in, and because I was pregnant, I at first couldn't really tell anyone because we weren't sure where we were, and I remember talking to the costume, being like, "How do we do this? Because I can't tell the cast and the director, and I don't know if this is gonna." And so, but she came up with this brilliant idea because my character had a ton of money, and she made this beautiful red cape gown thing that just went all around.
It was
stunning.
It was stunning on this purely white set. It was amazing. It was such a statement. And you had that fabulous hat.
The great hat.
Oh my God. Christine Richardson was the costume designer for that. Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
Because then no matter what happened with the boom,
it was
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. What was the first show you two were in together? I have a little list if you don't remember.
Was it the first time Steel Mags came around?
I'm going to read the list of your shows. Why don't I do that?
Okay.
And we can.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
And we can. There's only like 9 of them, which is
that we did together.
Shocking. Yeah, that you did together. Acted on together. Maybe worked on together. I think acted in. So, from most recent, Women in Jeopardy, Outsider, when you were... Silent Sky.
Oh, yeah.
2 Steel Mags. Harvey. Crimes of the Heart. Santa's Family Christmas in 2004.
Oh my gosh.
And Quilters. I don't know, was Quilters
before?
Quilters
would be the first one. Because Quilters was 2001.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Children
25 years. Feels like a long time right now. Oh my God.
Thread the needle.
Or when Mark Bear as a stage manager would come backstage and say,
"Children go."
There were no dudes in the show, and he had this great, awesome, deep voice.
Yep, that was the first show we did together. And that was
2001.
I think second show for 2001.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And then Steel Mags.
It wasn't Sanders before that?
Yeah. You're right. It would have been Quilters in 2001, Sanders in 2004, Steel Mags in 2006, and then Crimes of the Heart in 2007, where we took it. It was the first show in the St. Main and the last show in the St. Main.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It's like
it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bookending an era.
Yep.
And then we brought it over here, didn't we, or did we end it? No. Mystery of Irma Vep came over here and straddled the St. Main in here.
When I think of Sanders, one of my favorite things about that is that oh my gosh, don't do that on film.
That's okay, you won't be able to see it.
I think I was the youngest one in the cast, but I was playing
what?
For Sanders Family Christmas. Yes. Fairly sure I was the youngest one in the cast, but I was playing the oldest. I was playing the mother, Vera. And so I remember Janice Martin,
whatever happened to Baby Jane?
How are we gonna make her look like she's had all these children? And so they patted my butt. It was kind of amazing.
And I was like,
and then
47,
Adrienne,
playing like an 18-year-old.
She was playing this tiny.
My gosh.
Yeah, it was. She played one of the youngest ones, one of the twins.
And I remember your grandmother was like, "Who's that little girl up on stage?" I'm like, height can buy you a lot of years.
She's not a little girl, Grandma.
That's how you read on stage. That's what it is.
If you're the shortest one, you were the youngest one. I was the shortest one. There you go.
That's no longer the case. I'm no longer the youngest one, but you may still be the shortest one.
And apparently I'm getting shorter and shorter. I think I was even shorter than Sawyer, one of the kids that played in Christmas Carol. She's I'm taller than you. I'm like...
You had the hat, though. That gave you a little height.
Had a hat.
Gave you a little height.
Yeah, good hat.
Yeah.
Good hat.
Well, that's good. Okay. Any other good moments from these shows? I just want to hit some of them.
Are you kidding me?
Well, okay.
There are so many good
moments that we can share.
Adrienne's dying to tell this story, and she will tell it better than I will. But when we did Steel Magnolias, the first time, I understudied for 2 different roles because of people's needs to leave for various reasons. So I played the role of Shelby, which is the young woman who has diabetes and ultimately dies.
Drink your juice, Shelby.
Drink your juice, Shelby. And I also played a nail, who is the young hairdresser who comes to work at Truvy's shop for the first time.
And what's her husband's name? Bucky? No. Is it Bucky or? Anyway, so she did have, and you were like in almost every performance doing one or the other. Yeah. Because then you ultimately took over Shelby, didn't you? I think so.
Oh, yeah, because Steph went back to college.
Something like that. Yeah. So there was one, and Amanda Rayfuse was in the show. Lisa Weaver was in the show. I was playing Weezer. Again, age means nothing at the Commonweal. So I was like 35.
And you were hilarious.
And I was hilarious. So they say. I think it was more just like the wig. So... she comes on and she's got to tell this.
Oh, so I was playing Annelle.
Annelle, right? And you have to tell the story about how you ended up here and why you're here. And she goes up and we can all see it in her eyes because her eyes just get bigger and bigger and bigger. And she's supposed to tell the story about Bucky and how the police came. And I think his name is Bucky, but something like that. And it's like And then the police came, and then the police looked in my trunk, and then the police she must have said police
somehow.
Just in the loop.
But
the police who grabbed her by the arms and went, "Honey, what did the police say?" And
we scared the crap out of me, and I got the line out somehow. But it is kind of one of my modus operandi when I go up, is I just start to repeat stuff. I don't know if I think it's going to magically come to me, but...
We all have our tics. Just keep going.
I had a moment in Hedda where Scotty was playing my husband, and he was all the way up stage left, and I was all the way down stage right, and there was this painful silence, and I was like, oh, poor Scott must have gone up on his line, and I turn around, and in that moment I'm like, it's my line! And he did the classic, Hedda, what I think you mean to say.
Genius.
And I was like, that's right, that's what I mean to say.
That's the classic feeding you your line. I think you mean to ask me about your sister.
I saw your sister yesterday.
I would like to
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just say you saved me last year doing that.
I did?
Yes. When I went on as an understudy in The Outsider.
Oh, yeah.
For Jackie, the first weekend, I actually went on with a planned understudy, Tim, and that was crazy because my going out was last minute, and that was quite intense for Tim and I. But then you came back as the one who'd been doing it all summer, and your speed was so different from Tim's, and I was like... And even though I had all my lines on the character's iPad, I lost my place. You don't remember that?
I do remember this. I
can't remember who...
Gosh,
I think Hal's character was supposed to come in or called or something.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
oh yeah, you were supposed to mention Arthur. You needed to mention Arthur Vance.
And you said something about, I think you prompted me by saying a classic line of, did someone call?
Did Arthur Vance call? How would I know this? But I know this.
And I just picked it up and went, yes, Arthur Vance called. And I was like, thank God, it's Josiah. Oh, thank you, Josiah. Thank you.
Sometimes you just move fast and you just hope the audience doesn't notice.
Yeah. Then there was a time I threw my back out. We were doing Harvey in 2008. And I threw my back out to the point where the pain was unbearable. And so I put one of those blue gel ice packs on my back, and I don't know, I wrapped a belt around it or whatever, and I thank God I was playing like this doddering little old lady. So I kind of dodder out onto the stage, and as the scene goes on and the ice pack melts, it just drops out of my dress with this weird, wet, squelching sound. Like I have given birth on stage to a bright blue squelching bag, and everyone heard it, and because it was everything bad about, it was just like, and it was like alien.
Wow, that was highly specific.
and then it just hit the ground, and it was so gross, and I'm just like, but I was in so much pain I couldn't even move. And Nancy Husengay was on stage. Me, you, and Nancy Husengay. And Nancy finally was like, we have to do something about this. Nancy just said to you, was your character...
Myrtle May.
Myrtle May! Pick that up! And I was like, thank God, because I can't bend down. I'm like, and you were like, whoa!
That actually, when we talk about fun shows, I love that show because that is the time that I was playing your daughter. Mm-hmm. And you were playing... Vita Louise. Oh, Vita such Louise, an endearing. Yeah. They were all the characters in that show were just so endearing. Show. Yeah. They were so endearing.
Yeah.
But I do remember there was this phone scene where Vita Louise, who was just always she was just all over the map all the time, had to get herself wrapped around in that phone cord, and me as her daughter would just watch. And I remember that had to be rehearsed over and over again.
Well, you know why? Because Alan Bailey. It happened by mistake. Calling out Alan Bailey. It happened by mistake one day in rehearsal.
He was the director.
And he was the director, and it was the old-fashioned coil cord, and it just happened totally by mistake. Oh. And everybody cracked up, and Alan was like, well, that will stay. Mm-hmm. And then, it never happened again, and so we're rehearsing. Like, Lord.
And I would just have to stand there. I remember my costume was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was. It was
and
glorious.
Myrtle May had these, just perfect is that late 30s, early 40s?
I think it was early 40s.
Just everything about my costume. I had these perfect gloves and my gloves and my glasses and my shoes were all in yellow, and it was just fabulous. And I just remember so many times I would have to stand there on stage and try to watch her. I'm doing it and be like, let's see where this is going now. I also remember, though, I went on for you as Vita Louise.
What?
You and Hal was that the year you went to Norway?
That was, yeah, it
so
was.
Holy I had to not play my character and play her character instead.
Whose decision was that?
I don't know.
Who went on
Probably
for you?
Sarah Hawkins Rusk.
Right.
And I remember because it was a total trip because I would then had to play you talking to me on stage.
Yes. That's so weird.
Yes. But I also remember feeling pretty great because I remember at one point I was near section D and twirling around and doing whatever Vita Louise thing, and I remember overhearing someone in the audience go, oh, she's fabulous. I was thank you.
And scene. Yep.
I also remember about Harvey, that show, speaking of just antics, there were so many crazy backstage antics that I can't repeat on camera.
Why can't we?
Because
we should have a rating.
Oh,
this podcast is intended for mature audiences.
Remember Troy Iverson was the stage manager, and he would have to leave the booth and come back to be the taxi guy who would come on?
Yep. we had
and
the
Eric
most...
Bungie was
Harvey.
Elwood P.
No,
Dowd.
Elwood P. Dowd, yeah.
Yeah.
And
those old shows, they have so many random little characters.
There were these,
and you
there
can't
were
do
certain
without that.
exits that Eric would have to make, and me, because I was very, very professional, would be waiting for him off stage, ready to do things to him to throw him off.
God, that's right. That's right.
And by the end of the run, I built it up so that it wasn't just me off stage. There were several other actors waiting to surprise him.
And then there was the Hal crop. I mean, this is our 25th season, so we can roast the heck out of Hal, right?
Like to.
So there's the Hal crop missed entrance where Scotty just ended up ad-libbing.
Oh my gosh.
And then finally,
decorum, Kelly!
Decorum!
And everyone off stage was like, what's
That's
happening?
not a line? That's not... Oh, Hal's not on stage. Hal should be on stage.
We really could have an entire podcast.
Oh, we could. Total.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
What would you say is like your favorite show that the two of you did together?
Oh,
Like the one that you
really
remember the most, or the one that kind of like has the most meaning to you as you like look back?
I loved doing Harvey. I actually loved all the shows that we've done together. I will say Silent Sky will always have a special place in my heart. That was just a beautiful show, beautifully written. Adrienne directed, and she just had visions and ideas that were stunning. I mean, the entire auditorium at one point literally had stars going around it. It was just stunning.
Well, I can't claim that. I mean, that's 100%. It's like Paul Epton special.
Well, that was Thomas, actually.
No, Paul
Was
Epton
it?
Thomas did all the projections.
Oh, that's
Thomas
right.
did
That's right.
all the water and the stars and the nebula.
That's right.
But I did love directing that so
Oh,
much. That
such
felt
a
like a
gorgeous
real,
show. Such a gorgeous show.
A real. But then I love doing still mags.
Yeah,
I mean, people give still mags such a bad rap, but
No, it's a great story.
I love it, and I loved having you. I loved having been in the original with you, in the one back in 2000 whatever, and then doing this last one with you. It was just
Did you play the same parts?
No.
No. Actually, for me, it was kind of cool because the first time around I'd play the youngins, and now I was playing Truvy, the chaperone.
Yeah.
Which initially I thought, can I do this part? And then when we started doing it, I was like, oh, this is right for me. This is right.
Oh,
for me.
it was perfect for you. Perfect for you.
And Adrienne playing, because that's one of her favorite characters, is Malin.
I love Malin. I do. Yep.
I will say, doing, what did we just do a few years ago with Betty? Oh my gosh.
Women in Jeopardy.
Women in Jeopardy.
Oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
That was a hoot for multiples of reasons. One, because I could never remember anyone's names. I was like, who am I? Who are you? What are our characters' names? I'd come out and I'd call her my name or something.
She called me her name. I'm like, nobody's paying attention, so that's good. But that was so much fun because that was basically just us, like memorizing lines. Like, we just had the best time.
Yeah,
the best time.
And it was fun being there with Betty because we're friends in real life.
Yeah,
it was just, it was very fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We had a great time there. Yeah.
Do you have any shows that you want to do? I know that's kind of like, because you've had such a good amount of time to kind of.
I've told you many times, actually, I'm like, we got to find a show for the two of us to do, like a two-hander. I don't know what it would be.
Well, shameless plug for the reading series.
Tell us, Josiah. Tell us
about the reading series.
Yeah. Shameless plug. You two are going to be in a show by Jen Silverman called The Roommate, which is about a very buttoned-up woman who gets a roommate from a very less buttoned-up woman.
Which one's the buttoned-up? Yeah, we haven't decided
yet. You can decide if you want to be the rebel.
I just remember...
Wow.
Whoever's idea it was to have a play reading with the two of us for our 25th. We're like, just find something for two funny women. Isn't that what you're basically
that's what Adrienne said. Just go find something for two funny women. I'm like, those plays are just hanging on trees.
You mean, how do we narrow it down?
Yep. So, that's our shameless plug. So you will be doing that, at least.
I don't know if there's any, like, I mean, I would love, like, there's a couple of musicals on the table that have great roles for women our age who are friends for a long time. I like that.
Excuse me, women our age.
I know, I'm older than you, I'm sorry. I know, I'm older than you. But I mean,
most of the time she doesn't let me forget it because I'll say something about our age and she's like, oh, no. I'm older than you. I'm like, Okay.
But we're the same generation. We're Gen X, so counts.
Does count. There's certain TV shows that you remember more than I do. That's where the age difference
Oh
shows.
my gosh, yes. And there's TV shows that you watch that I'm like,
Yeah,
what are you talking about? I was in college. I don't know what's happening right now. What? Yeah. I don't know. I wish if anybody's watching or listening and you have a play that you would love to see the two of us do,
let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Email Josiah. Josiah@commonwealtheatre.org.
Yeah, please. That would be great. I love finding out about new plays. So. Yeah, that would be great. Well, yeah, I kind of feel like I've moved past that stage in my career, just a little bit of like needing to do that that next role or whatever. And so I was kind of guessing that you maybe kind of...
It's just, I think it's so much fun. Yeah, it's so much fun to, find... It's just fun to find roles and be like Women in Jeopardy. Like, I didn't know that existed. And then you read it and you're like, oh, this is like obvious, such a no-brainer. It's perfect. So yeah. You. I think we end up loving whatever we end up doing.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's some of our job as actors too, right? We find some ways to connect with our characters, and they are part of us, and we are part of them. And I don't know. I think that's kind of quite profound, actually, that we can end up connecting with our characters in these ways.
Yeah, it's sort of your job.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's been a number of my characters who have impacted my life in ways that I even still now I'm going, oh, I hadn't really made that connection till right now, and that person, that character who's no longer a living, breathing thing is still
around.
With me.
Yep.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you have any specifics to share?
Well, when we talked about Silent Sky, I was thinking about that, and just these women who were doing things that were unheard of for the era, because it was set in...
That's a long time ago, and many plays between then and now.
Was it 1920?
Something-ish like that, yes.
Turn of the century.
Pre-suffrage.
Yeah, and just these women doing these incredibly intelligent things with science and astronomy and stuff that I know nothing about, that are literally still impacting science today.
Well, it's kind of like you and Marie Curie. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty profound, and things that, because I'm not a science person at all, I love learning about, because I'm like, wow, that is incredible how that's impacting us right now. And also how strong these women were to be able to do this.
To be able to slog through all the nonsense and BS. It really is amazing. Yep.
Yeah.
What are you asking? What's the question? Do I have to answer this too?
If there's any characters that, because just Stella shared that some characters stick around with you, and you're like, you think about them in your daily life or something like that. The character from Outside Mullingar, I find that's really sticks with me somehow, and I'm not really sure why. But yeah, that character, like, I just have little fleeting moments of like, oh, she's there, and there she is. Oh, okay. Yeah. And and Malin, just because I know how many people loved that show, and Sylvia, of course Sylvia.
Which still, Adrienne did play the dog. For anyone who's confused, because I have had a number of people come to me at the box office and say, "You did a great job on that show. You were so funny as the dog." And I, to this day, I'm like, I don't understand how you can mix the two of us up. We just don't look anything alike, other than we have dark hair. But I've gotten to the point where if somebody says that, I'll just say, thank you. It was great.
And then she'll text me. You just got a compliment on Sylvia. Thank you. Yep.
Well, from a little ways back, and you're always changing your hair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I try and advocate for that. Okay. People confuse me
blue
and
eyes.
Philip a lot.
Blue eyes. You and Philip?
Yeah, me and Philip.
What?
I got a couple of, hey, you were great, or me and Gary.
Wow.
It's sort of that.
It's the beard.
You've been around for a long time.
It's just the big beard.
You have a beard.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but Sylvia is, Sylvia will have that with me till the day I die. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's some of the musicals we've done. They'll just
Woody Guthrie for
forever.
you.
Oh yeah,
my gosh.
That was pretty life-changing, I would say.
Yes.
I mean, for one thing, I had to push my music skills to a level that I never imagined, and had to learn a couple different instruments enough to be able to pull them off in front of an audience, which I know a lot of people think, oh, well, you're a musician, you can do that. Well, no, it's actually not that easy. It takes a lot of work. But then I did it, and it was really fun, and I loved it. But also just the beauty of that show.
Oh my gosh.
And the songs and the words of Woody Guthrie and how powerful and meaningful they were and still are now. Yeah. Just really.
People were so affected by that show.
Yeah.
And you were a showstopper. Absolutely.
Well, I will say, because I got to do the Union Maid song, when you stand up in front of an entire audience and do this, and then
in the Union Maid costume,
and then hold a note for as long as you possibly can.
Oh, it was just
that was fun. That was fun.
I have goosebumps.
I would actually always get, if I ever couldn't hold it as long as I'd want, I'd feel like, oh, dang it.
I let them down.
Let them down.
Everybody gets $5 back.
I like that. The goosebump moment is a good thing, because we kind of talked about like funny moments and bloopers, but like goosebump moments are a really important thing in the theater, right? You kind of find those moments where they're goosebumps for you. You can kind of feel it in the crowd. Actually, I bring it up because in Marie Curie, there's a couple of
there's some good ones.
Goosebump moments in that show where you're like, oh man, that's
one of my favorite Stella goosebump moments was the end of Souvenir.
Oh, I can't believe we haven't talked about Souvenir.
Oh, yes. I just can't even, when you turned and looked when you came out and you sang Ave Maria like the gorgeous, operatically trained singer that you are, and then you turned and looked at Stephen, and I was just like, I'm thinking to cry now. Just every time I saw it.
And it worked so well because it was so theatrical, because the entire play, you see this woman who thinks she's a great singer, but she's terrible. So you hear this actor singing off-key the entire show, and she's just a doodle nut, she's just crackers. And then at the end, Stephen's character says something like, but what she heard in her head was, instead of what the audience hears, and then she comes out and sings it just beautifully. And
it was so, I'm totally filling up right now.
I'm glad it was a beautiful moment for you, because that was definitely a moment that every single performance I was like, okay, we got this.
And it's at the end, right? It's like
in figure off key.
Yes, exactly. And
right.
It's like in a figure skating competition where they leave like the trickiest thing until the end, and you get extra points. And like you've intentionally sung off key for 2 hours.
Every performance, I'd have to like, okay, Stella, you got this. You know how to do this. I'd have to breathe, relax, like you can do it, and then go out there and just.
Oh my God!
Well, but like beautiful. That's such those moments. The goosebump moments tend to be those moments where you have to like breathe and connect and find those like center yourself and like.
And also, don't you think the goosebump moments they can be for you as an actor, but also like I think I've actually had more times where it gives the audience goosebumps in ways that I had no idea. Yeah. Like, really? You had that? Mm-hmm. That was your response? Oh. Yeah. Like, that's happening right now with Marie Curie. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I know that The Half-Life of Marie Curie is a really great play, and I knew from the beginning this was going to be great, but the impact it's had on people has been so much more than I ever dreamed. I mean, I'm like, oh, wow. Because it's very different when you guys know this, when you're on stage versus the audience. It's it's such a different experience. For sure.
You don't know. You don't know what they're. You can kind of feel it. I always feel like you can kind of feel the audience. You can tell when they're with you, and you sort of feel like the emotional swells of it. But you don't always know what those
moments are.
Because you're up there working your butt off, just trying to do your craft right. Make it the best it can be.
Yeah. But there's still an element of like. There's still an element of work to it, like we know what's gone into it, and so, your goal, of course, is to present a character that doesn't show any of that work,
right?
And that, we just get to share the moment. But it's like the same thing with funny, things that we think are going to be funny are not funny, and things that we think are like, oh, this is a dog. Like, people just crack up. And so it's like, you know what? Stop prejudging. You don't know what anybody's going to think or feel. That's why just memorize the lines.
That's why we always say, when we finally open a show, it's like, well, now we've finally added the final element, the audience. Yeah. We have to have the audience, or it's not theater.
Yep. Yeah. It's just rehearsal. Let's give it an easy, I would say.
For me, my goosebump moment with you was Clean House. That was the first show I saw you in.
Oh,
and I was like, oh man, this show. I loved the show.
Yeah, cool.
And you just had so many good moments in that show. My favorite was when you were having that conversation with, I don't remember.
Colleen? Yeah. Which one?
When you were up on the balcony together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a complicated show. You know,
Yeah.
Sarah Rule is the playwright, and she just writes these wonderfully complicated characters and this wonderfully complicated show. But then, man, I remember sitting in the audience and thinking, because this was like as I was coming to work here, we came and we saw The Elephant Man, which was a very different show. There was some like moments in that, you know, and Brant kind of doing that thing. It was, but like much more of a show for me was The Clean House.
Yeah.
And so seeing that and seeing the journey that you and Colleen would go on, and like, oh my gosh, and it was funny and heartwarming and like, and then also just like sad and beautiful. And heartbreaking. And I saw, for me, it's that moment where you two were sitting on the balcony and I just like, got those goosebumps.
Oh, wow,
like, I can work here. I
I
can work here.
Yeah,
This is like,
nice.
you know, whatever sort of draws you in. But that was a big moment for me at the Common Room, was seeing that and thinking, oh, this is a place for me. This is a place where I can find work like this. Like I can find good work.
Yeah. That was, I felt that way about art in 2001.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I stage managed that.
Yep. I sat in the theater and I was like, oh, this is the real deal. This is, like you said,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah, this is the real deal. I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Just because it was such a simple show, but the acting was so good.
Well, that's because you hadn't seen my performance in Zombies from the Beyond. I cannot believe that no one has talked about this.
Yeah, I know. I just,
I look at the pictures and I get goosebumps from those pictures.
You know, we're talking about all these beautiful, beautiful theaters, and that's awesome. But I've had a number of patrons who've been coming here for years. Are you ever going to do Zombina again?
no, because...
That was a blast. That was a blast.
Maybe we could reprise that role.
For my 25th celebration. Those platform booths.
Nope, can't do that anymore. Don't want to do that
high.
anymore.
You didn't mention that in like your favorite roles that you've done. Zombina. Where would that rank? Would that be like top 10, top 5?
Well, we're only talking about the shows we were in together.
Well, I know, but
yeah.
Well, if
I don't know.
you had to do like top
that
5
show,
favorite roles,
I
it
love
was
doing that show,
Zombina.
but that also feels like that was not me, but me. Do you know what I mean? Because it was so long ago. I'm like, who did that show?
Who did that show?
Yeah.
It was just a different Stella.
Oh, I know.
But I loved it, and I've actually, when people mention it, I do have this moment of thinking to myself, what would that be like if I do it now? And I think, well, first of all, I would be exhausted all the time. Second of all, I'm like, no, it would be very different because I was a young actor, you know, I was fairly inexperienced, and now I just approach the process differently.
Yeah.
But it would still be a blast. It would be an absolute blast.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be...
Well, that's what's the...
Maybe we could have a cameo. Do we have a we could do a show with cameos.
No, that's the worst idea I've ever heard.
You know how in Ipsson shows there's all these characters that you never see, you just hear about?
Yeah.
So we could have a show with all of Ipsson's unseen characters and Zombina.
No.
You write it.
Here's what it
Josiah.
is. For your 25th anniversary, you know, your 25th year, you have 5 characters who have to make a cameo.
Oh my god.
Who would your 5 cameo characters be? We know Zombina
Zombina
for you, and it could be like your big character. Sylvia has to, you know,
Just a cameo. It doesn't have to be like the whole.
No, you're not doing the whole show. It's just like it's
okay.
like a way of saying your top 5.
Okay,
but without that.
For
Florence.
sure,
Florence
from
would come in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would say somebody, probably, there's multiple characters, but probably the Union Maid from Woody Guthrie.
Yep. Union Maid, Woody Guthrie, Zombina, Souvenir.
See, I like Zombina because I wouldn't have known that. I like that you'd
it's
never
like a
miss
deep
cut.
The giant blonde wig and those giant black platform boots.
And those bananas.
And the silver spandex, whatever that was. I don't remember what it was.
See, that's just visually stunning.
That's
It is, visually
Who
stunning.
would some of your cameos be?
Well, Sylvia, I would do like a scene from Sylvia. But at this point, like Sylvia would start out as the dog that needs to go to the Great Rainbow Bridge, and maybe we could age backwards. Little bit from How I Learned to Drive. Yeah. I would love to have a moment or two with that one.
I know she's funny, but I will say that what's her face that you just did last summer in Outsider.
Lulu Peeks.
Oh
Lulu
my God!
Peeks.
What a daffy doodle.
Lulu Peeks is one of my all-time favorites.
That was lovely because it was such a different kind of humor that I see from you. usually your humor is like spinning and getting stuck in a chord, right? But this was so like understated.
Yeah. Well, that was all Alan. All Alan Bailey direction. It was an Alan Bailey production through and through. And I came at it like ready to spin in a chord. And I was like, no, you don't get to do that again. You're going to do it this way. And I was like, stand still? You want me to stand still? Okay. So, and Alan directed Sylvia, of course. So, yeah. So,
Sylvia,
Ebenezer Scrooge. I would do Ebenezer Scrooge again in a heartbeat.
I know. Currently playing her, but if it was what am I trying to say? Hertha from the Marie Curie. I mean, she's just what a force.
Yeah, she's a great character.
The way you start the show and that show is so fun. Where you're just like, I don't care. My favorite, like, this reminds me of, I don't care. And then you just move on. I love her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have to be on your top 5 cameo list.
And I would do Steel Magnolias again.
Yeah.
Any character, anytime, any day of the week. Anything that celebrates women's friendships. I mean, that's so important to me.
I know
the strength of women.
It's just a cute little musical, but I really adored being in She Loves Me. And
you were so good in that show.
So fun. But also just like, okay, yes, there are a lot of the moments of that character that are very based in that era, but also still true to a female story.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm having problems with this guy, and I really got to take care of me, and what am I going to do about it? And then this connection with this other woman on stage, played by Lizzie, of like, can you believe these guys? Like, what are we going to do? I don't know. Plus, Trip to the Library is one of the greatest musical theater songs of all time.
It really is.
Once you learn the words.
There were a few moments.
What?
Only in rehearsal.
What are you admitting to?
Only in rehearsal that you would, make up a few verses.
I will admit that when you go up, which means you forget your words in a musical, it's one thing if the song is slow, but when it's a patter song,
I know you're moving quick.
Yeah, it's like death. It's like I did it once.
And it's the same with Shakespeare. When you go
you can't make up.
And you have to do it in iambic pentameter.
Methinks I know not what I'm saying. Please help.
The end. Yep. Nope. No, thank you.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, it's funny because I had all these things written down of like what we would talk about, and then basically I just turned the cameras on and
we talk.
You two would start going. I was trying to think if there's anything else I want to hit on. You gave us some really great mistakes from the show. We kind of talked about favorite. So I do want to just. We're in an interesting like era, right? We're in this sort of post-pandemic era,
yeah.
And like you've seen a lot of beautiful, crazy, strange, stressful things happen at the theater, but like we're in a very different world. I just sort of maybe want to like chat about how we've gone from a 6 work-day week to like a 5 work-day week, and we've gone from doing a lot of shows, and we're still doing a lot of shows, but it's just it's a different world from when you both started. Is this kind of where you expected things would be? Is this kind of where you expected?
I don't think I had a clue. Like 20 years ago, I don't think I had a clue whatsoever. But I will say the journey of the Commonweal is, that's how my life, I'm not saying it's all my life, but that's really, my life has come along with it. The Commonweal has grown up, and I've grown up with the Commonweal, and that's, I did not, many people here at the Commonweal went to grad school for acting. I did not. I considered it for a while.
You went to Commonweal University?
But I went to Commonweal University. I learned so much from the people who have come through the doors as an actor or as a designer or as a director, as many artistic roles. It's just had a huge impact on me as an artist and as a person. And I don't know, it's something there's no way I could have dreamed this is what it would have been. Yeah, 25 years ago.
Was there a moment where you're like, I'm kind of in it for the long haul? Or has it just sort of like, because I'll say, I've been here for 7 years, and it feels like I blinked. Like,
oh,
it
really?
doesn't feel like I have sort of said, man, I want it to be here for 7 years and I've committed to it. It just is like, wow, I can't imagine it having gone any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? It's just sort of moved. Like you said, the Commonweal has moved and I've kind of moved with it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if either of you had that moment where you're like, this is a place this could be a forever place, or if it's just kind of all been maybe parts of both.
I had almost instantly. I had two things happen. Way back in the beginning, when I was getting ready to go to grad school, and that would have been, I don't know, a jillion years ago. I mean, you're taking on debt, and you're moving across the country, and you got, I was married to my first husband at the time, and so there was a lot of upheaval and tumult, just to go get my degree. And I remember someone asked me at the time, like, why are you doing this? Not like in a challenging way, but like define why you're doing this. Yeah. Define your goals. And I had an undergraduate degree in communications, and I had a great career as a marketing person and graphic designer, and I loved doing that. I really enjoyed that part of my life, but I also knew that this was a calling that I had to pursue. And so I remember saying, like, what I really wanted to do was be a part of a resident ensemble, without realizing that the Commonweal was here. And resident ensembles at the time were getting fewer and farther between. Even the Guthrie was once a resident ensemble theater, and they no longer are, really, in the way this place is. So I was like, I would just really love to make theater and be a part of an ensemble. Like, not even being on stage all the time, just being part of that. And then I got down here and I was like, oh, it exists.
This is what it looks like.
This is what it looks like. And so I would rehearse all day and then make displays or make signs at night and then put them in the window and, call reporters. And it just is that totality. Mm-hmm. Once I discovered that was here, I was like, oh, okay, you can. It's like I have a day job, but like every other actor on the planet has a day job, like except for the ones who are on 8 shows on Broadway, making dollar bills. And then the other thing is, and I say this all the time, but when I drove down here on January 6th, 2001, I had never been here before, and
you came here in January?
Yes, with 2 weeks' notice, because the woman who was originally cast to play my role was not able to get out of a previous contract. So Hal Kropp called me on, it was December 20th or 21st or 22nd, and was like, hi, we'd like to offer you this role. And of course, immediately you're like second or third choice, and that's okay because you're getting the check. Who cares, right? And I said, oh, can I think about it? And he thinks he's so funny with his joke. His line is, if the answer is yes, you can think about it as long as you like. If the answer is no, I need to know by tomorrow. And I'm like, waka waka. And so I was like,
did she was going to marry that man?
I know, right?
Line over and over again.
And so I just was like, well, I don't have a gig, and I might as well do this gig. And so I drove down here with 2 weeks' notice, January 6th, 2001, and I was coming down Highway 8, and, and it's like this magical fairyland covered in snow, and the Christmas lights are still up, and you're like, what the heck? And I remember a voice in my head saying, you are home, which had its own problems at that moment. But I felt it, and I've never not felt it, yeah. And then I guess when I got married, I realized, well, we're not leaving, so... Yep, got a house and
that's really great.
Yeah. Here we are.
Oh, well, that might be a good note to end the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. That was a lovely story. I think we've kind of hit on all the stuff. Is there anything else you want to...
Yes, Amy Poehler,
okay.
on her podcast, Good Hang, goes and talks to other people about... they talk good talk behind everybody's back, and then... they come up with questions. But now the podcast is over. So
yes. Thanks for sharing that idea after filming. Cool. I'll put that in the good ideas bag. Yeah, thanks so much for being here and talking. And if you have any more, I'm happy to get the cameras back out and we can film again later. I know you two love being in front of the cameras. It's like your favorite thing in the world.
Favorite thing.
You have to go you have to go.
Yeah, I'm going to go do a media appearance this afternoon in Rochester. So
look at you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go rehearse.
Look at us being actors. Doing that thing.
Way to be great at what you do. Way to be great at what you do.
Thank you.
And do it for
and
25 years.
Josiah, you too. For 7. No.
Yeah, for only for 7. Not quite as good. That's like less than a third as good.
If I'm still around, I will put you in a podcast on your 25th.
Thanks.
If I'm still around. Yes, it's a long time.
Yeah. I know.
Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you both for being
here.
Thanks, Josiah.
And thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Okay. Got it.
All right.
All right.